This is what you need to know in order for you to become consistent within 30 days from today. This is what you need to know about becoming successful. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Guidance, and let's just get straight into it. Now, what we're going to talk about today is the importance of keeping track and making progress of you being consistent in your success. Now, of course, success is going to look different to everybody, so take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you're new here, make sure you check out the 30-day challenge of being consistent. It will be somewhere here in the beginning of the video, somewhere on top of the screen, or in the description box below. Each video we went over step by step, and I broke down the importances of consistency and being successful. The reason why it's important to watch these videos before you watch this one is so you're equipped, you're educated, and you're aware. Not just that, being consistent, being successful is a habit. It requires a lot of responsibilities, and the reason why these videos are over 15 minutes is because the amount of information that you have to become aware of. When you decide to do something that you've never done before, you don't know what to expect. You don't know how long it's going to take. Most importantly, you may not have all of the tools and everything figured out in the moment. But when you decide to be consistent, when you decide to be successful, you have to make a decision. And that's what the habit is. That's why people tell you to just be consistent. But to take it a step further, you have to be committed. So steps 1 through 4, because we're currently on step number 5, talked about what you're actually trying to accomplish. We talked about what you're trying to receive, what you're trying to do, why you're interested in your goals, what are your accomplishments, what is the desiring feeling, the experience, what is your outcome, how is this going to affect you emotionally, physically, psychologically, financially, coming up with solutions, problem solving, understanding that action is required, what you currently have control over, what are your current resources, what do you have access to, as well as adapting and creating your new schedule, having a to-do list, a planner, notebook, etc. What time and how much energy are you able to invest into your goals? What is your daily routine going to look like? When are you going to start? And most importantly, what it takes. All this information matters, and it seems like a mouthful. So when you watch these videos, I recommend that you have a notebook, pen and paper, an iPad, your notes on your phone, and you take the information and apply it, because this is a habit. Now, of course, being consistent is going to take more than 30 days, depending on what it is that you're doing. No, these videos are not clickbait, but to get you started, you need a foundation. So if your goal is to buy a house, and you never bought a house before, it's going to take time. Whether you're building your house from scratch, which can take 8 months to maybe a couple of years, depending on where you want to live, what you want to do. Like, it's a lot of factors that come with it, okay? So in this video, we're going to talk about your goals and writing them down and keeping track. The video previously, we talked about documenting it. The reason why you need to document your goals, and the reason why this video is going to be similar, is for you to realize what you've done. You see, when we decide to do things that we never done before, like I've stated, and I'm saying this repetitively so you can become aware, you don't know how long it's going to take. And just because you see other people do things doesn't mean you're going to have the same experience. When you document it, you could keep track. You are aware of what you've done, what you haven't done, what do you have versus what you lack. Therefore, when you decide to commit to your goals, when things get challenging, when you have to adapt, when you have to make some adjustments, you're not giving up on yourself, you don't feel discouraged, you don't compare yourself, and you stop. Depending on what it is that you're asking for is going to require the time, energy, and effort. And the reason why I tell you guys to watch these videos up until today is because all of this stuff factors. So if you have a long-term goal, are you willing to take 6 months to a couple of years to receive and achieve your goal? The goal that I've been giving as an example is losing weight. If you're trying to lose 40, 50 pounds, that may take 3 to 6 months or even a year, depending on your schedule. If you know that you work 5 days out of 7 days and you only have 1 day to yourself, are you willing to take that 1 day and spend 30 minutes, an hour to exercise? Do you have the finances to go to the gym? Do you have the finances to invest into a trainer? Do you have resources such as certain foods that you could start eating and supplements and going to the doctor and asking a nutritionist what you should be eating or what you shouldn't be eating? Or are you able to go online and educate yourself on YouTube, TikTok, or friends and family to figure out exercises that you can do at home? You need to understand the importance of keeping track of what you're doing. When you see the work that you've invested into, it will allow you to stay motivated. And that's what consistency is. Doing something that you may not want to do in the beginning, knowing that you're going to see the results. Because if we're being honest, until you learn to accept the journey, until you learn, to accept the process, you're going to think it's challenging and it's difficult. And if you see me looking over here, I'm just basically reading the outline. You tracking your results is a stepping stone. When you decide to heal yourself from trauma, dysfunction, and corruption, what you used to do, where you used to be, what you used to experience is not going to apply to you in a couple of months or in a couple of years from now. Being consistent requires you to change your mindset, your behavior, your ways of thinking, any limitations. So just because you grew up around abuse psychologically, mentally, or even physically, doesn't mean that you have to continue these behavior patterns that you witnessed or that you saw or that affected you for the rest of your life. You documenting it, you keeping track and working on the triggers and the challenges will allow you to see the growth that you had. You have to allow yourself grace. When you see the self-improvement and you become self-aware, you will start to be grateful for what you went through. Everybody has a past. Everybody may have times where we struggle. Some people suffer more than others. It's not to compare and to contrast, but to realize why you went through these situations. Until you're able to recognize how these situations are affecting you and why you're going through them, you're going to continue to feel stuck and stagnant. You're going to feel stuck. Most importantly, when you track your progress, and the reason why it's important to document and to hold yourself accountable is, let's just say you do decide to heal yourself from toxic family members and friends and work on your attitude, and something happens to where somebody gets you out your character or makes you upset. If you're able to realize how far you've grown and how far you've changed, you won't be so quick to react and respond to things that used to trigger you. Now, this doesn't mean that you're not a human being, that people are not going to say and do things to make you feel some type of way. But when you learn how to control those frustrations, when you learn how to control your anger, when you learn to control what you have control over, you're more than likely not going to react and respond a certain type of way. You're not going to give your time, energy, and effort into things that are not contributing into you. Same thing with you losing weight. Let's just say your goal is to lose 30, 40 pounds. And you've been going to the gym for like 2-3 weeks and you feel like nothing is working out for you, and you guys, I need a cough drop, and you've been going to the gym for like that time, you feel like nothing's working out for you. When you document it and you see that you've been working out 30 minutes a day, an hour, you've been seeing that you've been doing this small task, you'll realize you're making progress. A lot of people get discouraged because they don't see immediately results or things don't happen instantly. You can't have that attitude. You have to be okay with knowing that it may take 3 months. It may take 3 years. Whatever it is that you want to do, like, you have to be practical. This is why we talked about making a schedule and adapting to your routine. So if you work, like I said, 5 days and you only have 2 days off to yourself, and you can only start going to the gym or doing exercises for 30 minutes to an hour, be grateful. That's the purpose of you keeping track and making progress, is so you can learn to be grateful and express gratitude. Because once you get in the state of gratitude and being grateful that you're grinding, you're putting in the work, you're doing everything that you can, you're taking each day for what it is, you're healing, you're unlearning, you're learning, you're educating, you're cutting off certain people, places, and things, you're changing your diet, you're going to school, you're walking to work, you're doing the things that you need to do, you start to get more and more closer to what it is that you're trying to achieve. If you cannot understand or accept that you used to be maybe overweight or obese, and maybe you didn't grow up with people teaching you about diets, or you didn't have family love and support and you want to learn how to love, if you cannot embrace that part of yourself, you will feel like everything that you're doing is not going to work out for you and it's going to waste. And that's not true. And I'm speaking from experience. Instead of focusing on the goal so much that you become infatuated with it, accept the fact that your past self, your present self, and your future self are 3 different versions of yourself. And you need it to be your past self, your present self, and your future self for you to live the life that you are expecting. And you also have to realize, when you track your progress, if you're doing this by yourself, you have to realize the time and energy and effort it's going to take. Speaking from experience, I've been posting on YouTube for 6 months. I'm able to see I started with 0 subscribers. As I'm making this video, there are 90 people who follow this account, and I'm grateful for every single person who likes, who comments, who shares, and who's engaging. It's a journey. Whether you're posting on social media online, you're starting a business, you're losing weight, you're going to school, you're buying a house, you're buying a car, you're having a family, you're getting into a relationship, it's a process. It's not the actual goal that we struggle with, it's what we had to do. And this is why it's also important to track what you went through, so you know the changes that you had to make. It's literally based off of the responsibilities. That's why in the first couple of videos, it was so imperative that we went over that. And that's why I strategically and specifically broke these videos down to the best way that I could, step by step. This is step 5. It's a lot that comes with being consistent. It's a lot that comes with being successful. And I don't want it to be difficult. I don't want it to be difficult for me and for the 90 people who are viewing these videos, and even on other social media platforms. We're not making it challenging. We're not going into 2025 with a mindset of poverty or what if or doubt. Like, no, we're going to nip it in the bud, and we're going to go through these temporary forms of discomfort so we can reap the rewards. When you work for the things that you had and you did it the right way, and you know you did the best that you could, it's going to work out when it's supposed to. But worrying about when things are going to happen, or feeling like things are not happening on your time, isn't going to change your situation. Not just that, when you track the information and you make progress and you see what you've done, you don't have to compare yourself. In the next video, we're going to talk about rewarding yourself. So it's like, if your goal, like I said, was to lose weight in, let's just say, 3 months, and you've been going to the gym for 3 weeks and you lost 5 pounds, make sure you treat yourself and be proud of yourself. We're going to talk about that in the next video. That's a part of step 5. You have to realize that there are only 24 hours in a day, and it's only so much that you can do. Reflecting on your actions will allow you to identify any patterns, any triggers, and will allow you to understand how you choose to react and respond. When you learn to adapt instead of reacting and responding, you'll realize what's worth your time and energy. And I've talked about that already. And if you haven't, you have to be intentional about what it is that you're doing. If your goal is to lose weight and the people, places, and things right now are not trying to contribute towards that, you have to separate them. You have to create distance. It doesn't matter if it's your friend. It doesn't matter if it's your family. It doesn't matter if it's your partner. Even when it comes to holidays, like when I'm making this, Thanksgiving, for those who celebrate, is going to be next week. If you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight, if you eat those plates and be a big bag during that time, you have to realize, okay, you may have to put in more energy and effort. If not, you have to understand that you decided to eat this food knowing that it wasn't healthy or it wasn't making you feel good. I'm not saying that you can't eat whatever you don't want to eat, but you have to know, like, when you do things, it comes with responsibility. It comes with consequences. And if you're okay with the consequences, then be okay with it. But you have to realize that when you do things with intention and you move with purpose, you're not going to doubt yourself. It does not matter how long it takes for you to get to where you need to be or get the things that you want. If you want it, you have to realize that. And you have to realize, yes, everybody is doing the same thing, but you're the first person to do it the way that you're doing it. Yes, other people are content creators and have businesses and are in healthy relationships or have the cars and the materials that you want, but you don't have it. So learn to document your journey, learn to have your schedule, learn to have a calendar or a planner. I have this big one right here, and write down daily the tasks that you have to do. It's no reason to be burnt out. It's no reason to be overwhelmed. And it's like when you pace yourself, you have the energy. When you need to rest, rest. When you need to work, work. And most importantly, take your time, because you can have a plan. You could write it down, right? You could have things planned out. Things may happen. You can have a plan to be on time to catch a flight to go to the airport. All of a sudden there's an accident. All of a sudden there's traffic. Or if you don't have TSA clear, you go to the airport, it's crowded. Your flight could get delayed. Just because we plan for things doesn't mean it's going to happen. So you have to learn how to adapt. You have to learn how to be able to problem solve. And most importantly, you have to be practical. You have to take your time with doing what you need to do, especially when you don't have everything figured out in the beginning. You just have to be okay that you're making steps daily. And when it's time for you to experience whatever it is that you want, that you will. You have to know. And most importantly, you can't give up. You can take breaks. I'm not against taking breaks. I'm not telling you to work 70 hours straight and not resting or doing vacations, but you have to create the reality for you. And that's why we're talking about your schedule. You have to adapt to the schedule based off of where you are. You have to be practical. If you don't have the free time to be working out and that's your goal, whenever you do, you have to start making time. Like, you make time for everything else. All you have to do and know is that if you want certain things, you have to be temporary uncomfortable. You have to experience temporary form of discomfort, in the beginning. And it's just the beginning. If you can get through the beginning, if you can get through these first 30 days, you can do 60. You could do 100. You could do a year. Take your time. Nobody's rushing you to be successful. You're the only person who has to show up for yourself. So if you have questions, comments, or concerns and these videos resonate with you, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below. Turn on your post notification. If you watched all the way to the end, subscribe, because what are you doing? You watched the video, you might as well subscribe and apply this information. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, and you're interested in more videos like this, or you want me to talk about something, let me know in the comment section as well as the community section here on YouTube, and follow me on all other social media platforms. They'll be down in the description box below. When you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I will be going live and answering common questions. You can DM me on Instagram as well, and check out my story where I post polls to see what you guys are interested in, what we need to talk about, what we need to separate ourselves from, or just feeling out feeling how you need to feel. That cough drop starting to affect me. And if you want a one-on-one session and you want to, be personal and intimate, head to my website at tygoddessdecember.com and schedule your availabilities, because they're available. But most importantly, take your time. You have to learn how to go with the flow sometimes. You have to be able to do the things that make you feel uncomfortable in order for you to change, because that's how you're going to grow. So we are 15 videos in, or 13, I think 15. Let me check and see. But I'm proud of you guys who've been watching the videos to the beginning. We're in the middle. And same thing with life. The time is going to go by. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 videos in. But whenever you see this, it'll probably be over with. Okay? Thanks for watching. Love you. Good night. Good morning. Bye.